Okay, so we need to get ready for the next quiz. So first of all, quiz review. So number one, first thing I'm going to do is I want to rewrite it in order. So the x to the fourth has to go first. We put it in the order from the exponent. So we're going to go a 4x to the fourth plus the 3x minus the 10. So you rewrite it in order, and that's going to be one of the questions I'm going to ask you. I'm going to say rewrite it in standard form. And standard form just simply means the biggest exponent down to the smallest, okay? Now, that means that the degree is the biggest exponent. The degree is 4. That's it. Whatever the biggest exponent is, that's the degree. That's also how many zeros it will have. So if you're asked how many zeros or how many roots it has, it's also going to be 4. X to the fourth will have 4 answers. X to the third has 3 answers, and so forth and so on. The leading coefficient is the number in front of the biggest term, which is 4. The constant term, Grace?
Why would it be a 0?
Oh, I don't see a 0. What are you talking about? Oh, the 0. Yeah, if you want to find the zeros. Okay. Now, the constant term is the number that without a variable. So the constant term is -10. It stays constant. The name, there are 1, 2, 3 terms. So we're going to call it a trinomial. Okay, that's it. Pretty easy. Number 2, do not FOIL. Just add. Just add. So I've got a 4x squared with a -3x squared. That makes a positive 1x squared. I've got a -4x with a 2x makes a -2x. I have a 5 plus a 4 makes a 9. That's all we can do because you cannot add terms that are not alike. Number 3, you're going to subtract. There's many ways to do it. What I do, just because I want to be careful, is I take the negative sign and I bring it through. I just want to make sure I rewrite this as a -8x cubed, because I'll mess up minus a minus. So if I change the sign first, I'll make that a positive 3x squared, and I'll make that a -2x. This is something I do. You don't have to do that, but I get messed up with the subtract and negative, so I push the negative sign through. If I bring down the first group, 5x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x, then I can add them. Now I'm going to add terms. Now, of course, I've got to be careful with positive and negative numbers, but 5x cubed and a -8x cubed just makes a -3x cubed. A -2x squared and a positive 3x squared makes a positive 1x squared. And then finally, I've got a 4x and a -2x makes a positive 2x. That's all I can do with it. Okay, can't add them. Have to keep them the same. Okay. So I did not FOIL any of these. So when do you FOIL? When there's nothing in between. So if there's 2 parentheses next to each other, it means multiply. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply. Now, example 4 should be easy. You guys have been doing this since Algebra 1. X times 2x is a 2x squared. X times 5 is a positive 5x. Then I'll multiply with the 2, and I'll get a 2 times a 2x, a positive 4x. And the 2 times the 5 is a 10. All right? Combine like terms. I'm going to have a 2x squared plus a 9x plus a 10. And that's it. Garrett, you with me? Okay. Number 5 is just a bigger version of what we just did. We're going to take the 2x times all 3 of these terms. We're going to take the 3 times all 3 of these terms. So let's do it. 2x times a 2x squared is a 4x cubed. 2x times a 4x makes a -8x squared. 2x times 5 is a positive 10x. Okay, we've got the first part done. Let's now do it with the 3. 3 times 2x squared is a positive 6x squared, but I'll line them up. I like to line them up. 3 times a -4x, a -12x, line them up. And 3 times 5 is a positive 15. Now by lining them up, I'm just going to add straight down. I have to be careful of positive and negative numbers, but I can do that. 4x cubed, it's the only cubed term, minus 2x squared because of -8 and positive 6, -2x because of the 10 and the -12, plus 15. And that's all I'm going to do there. Now, number 6 is a little bit hard, but I'm going to take my time. We're we're going to go ahead and use Pascal's triangle. We're going to use the fourth row of Pascal's triangle. Fourth row, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay, and I'll go slowly. I want you to be able to get this. So we'll go 1 and spread them out. 4, 6, 4, and 1. Okay? Now, starting from the beginning, I'm going to take my 2x to the fourth, my 2x to the third, 2x to the 2, 2x to the 1, and then no 2x. So I'm going to go, you ready? My 2x to the fourth power. Then I'm going to go 2x to the third power. I'm going to go 2x to the 2 power, 2x to the 1 power, and then no 2x's, okay? On the back side, I'm going to take a negative 5. On the back side, I'm going to take a negative 5. I'm going to take a negative 5 to the fourth. I'll take a negative 5 to the third. I'll take a negative 5 to the 2, a negative 5 to the 1, and then no 5s. Well, they have plus signs in between them, so I'm going to put my plus signs in, plus signs, plus signs, plus signs. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Now, it's a mess. I'm going to have to fix my mess. I've got to be careful, though, because there's a lot of numbers, and I'm going to have to power the numbers. I'm going to say that again. I need to power a lot of different numbers, okay? Here I'm going to power the 5. Here I'll power the 2. I'm going to power them. So, you ready? 2 to the fourth power. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 to the fourth power is 16 x to the fourth. Okay, think about it. I've got 2 to the fourth power. 2 times 2 times 2 is 16 x to the fourth. Now, got to be a little careful here. I've got 3 different numbers to multiply. Ready? This is an 8. In fact, I'll even write that up here. That's an 8. 2 to the third. Times 4 is 32. Times a negative 5. I don't know. I'll take a second. What is negative 5 times 32? Clear. Negative 5 times 32. Come on. And I get an answer of negative 160 x to the third. Okay, I'll show you again. 2 to the third power is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Times negative 5 is negative 160. Okay? So I could even do it on my calculator. I could even go 4 times 2 to the third power times negative 5. Okay? You can do it on your calculator if you have to. Okay? Alright, this is going to be a 4, and this is a positive 25. Okay, negative 5 squared is positive 25. 2 to the second power is 4 times 6. So what is 6 times 4 times 25? I get 600. So I get a positive 600 x squared.
Would it be negative 600?
Great question. Really good question. A negative times a negative is a positive. Do you agree with that? I'm glad you brought that up, though, Garrett, because a lot of kids will make that mistake, but not anymore, thanks to you, right? Now, this one's going to be negative, though, because the negative, 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 right? This one's going to be negative. Negative, negative, negative is going to be a negative, right? So this is a negative 125 times a 2 times a 4 times an 8. Okay, so what is 8 times a negative 125? Is negative 1,000 x. And then finally, negative 5 to the fourth power will be positive. I think it's 625 plus 625. That is a big problem, okay? Now, you won't have one this hard. You won't. But it's okay to do a hard one on the review, right? So that when you get to the quiz tomorrow, you'll say, oh, this is much easier than what I did yesterday, right? Okay? I won't put a number right here. I'll make it easier for you, okay? Okay, you ready to turn the page? All right, now, factoring. Let's look at factoring. Okay, we're almost done. Shh. So, regular x squared. This is the old factoring. This is kind of stuff we learned in Algebra 1. Right? X and x will make x squared. I'm going to use the multiples of 8. I'm going to use a negative 4 and a positive 2. That's it. Example 8 looks hard, but it's really as easy as this. You ready? It is going to be 3x, 3x. That makes sense? Plus 5 minus 5. That's it. Okay, example 9. I'm going to common factor out a multiple of 3, and they also have a x in common, don't they? So if I common factor out a 3x out of both, in the first term, all I'd be left with is an x squared, because I took out the 3x. The second term, I'd have a minus 9. Now, if you're not sure, you can always go backwards. That times that times that, right? But this one can be factored again. We can do the x squared minus 9 into x plus 3, x minus 3. So our grand answer, x plus 3, x minus 3, okay? All right, we're getting there. We're close to being done. Example 2, parentheses, 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 parentheses. The only way I can get a 2x squared is with a 2x and an x. Now, I'm going to make this 11, but I'm going to need my double smiley to make my 11, okay? Because I know that 5 is going to be 1 and 5 or 5 and 1, but I'm going to be careful where I put them. I'm going to put the 1 here and the 5 here. And I'll show you the double smiley. So, the double smiley needs to make the negative 11. That could be a 1x, and that would be a 10x, but if I added them, I would get the 11. If I need a negative 11, then I need a negative 1 and a negative 5. And that's how you factor that one. Alright, example 11 is going to be this cube thing, alright? So you need a cube. We need a perfect cube, but they don't look like cubes to me, but I know this. If I need to make 8 into a cube, let's think. Okay, what times what times what makes 8? What times what times what makes 8? 2, right? So we can rewrite this as a 2x cubed. And you ready? What times what makes 125?
5.
5's right. Okay, minus 5 cubed. So what I want to do is I'm going to write down the formula, and then I'm going to show you how it works. So I need the cubed minus the cubed. That's this one right here, okay? So the formula says it is if I have an a cubed minus a b cubed, the formula says, well, we're going to write down a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So here's our formula. Let's see if we can match this up with this. So what we have is really 2x cubed. So my a in this example, let's write it down as 2x. And my b in this example is my 5. So I've got my 2x cubed, and I've got my 5 cubed. So my 2x goes where the a's go, and my 5 goes where the b's go. So we'll just plug things in. Does this help? Is this an easier way for you to see this?
Yeah.
If I do it this way? So we're just going to go, all right, I'm going to put my 2x where the a's go. So I'm going to go 2x minus what my b is, 5. Just put things where they belong. I need an a squared. Yeah, it's just 5. Just 5 because it's part of the formula, okay? Yeah, that's the exact same thing that was asked earlier, okay? You keep it as a regular 5 because we're using the subtract formula, okay? If you want to make it a negative 5, Will, you'd only need one formula, right? And you'd use that one. But it's easier to have two formulas, so you don't have to worry about the negatives. Does that help? Does that make any sense? Okay, now let's fit. Okay, so a squared. What is this squared? What is this squared? What is this squared? 4x squared. Did we agree with that? So 4x squared. AB, what's this times this? Plus 10x. And b squared, what's this squared? That's your answer.
Whoa.
That is your answer.
Dang.
You can do this, can't you?
I don't know.
That's it.
I was just listening to music.
Okay, example 12. So 4 terms, group them. Remember we said 4 terms, group them? So put these first 2 together. Put these second 2 together, right? What do these first 2 have in common? X squared, right? What's left over? An x plus 2. What do these 2 terms have in common?
4.
Yeah, I like the minus 4 actually. Minus 4, and you'll see why we want to do the minus. Because we'll get an x plus 2. What we need is for these 2 things to be the same, right? So that we can go one more time, okay? So what do these 2 have in common? Parentheses, x plus 2, and I'd be left with an x squared minus 4. Now, Somebody's going to say, hey, wait a minute, Mercedes, you can factor that again, can't you? Can that be factored again? X plus 2, x minus 2, so let's finish it up. Here's my x plus 2 for that one, and this will factor into an x plus 2, x minus 2. All right, what I'd like